Welcome to Shine Online with Ellie Swift. I'm your host, marketing and mindset coach Ellie Swift, here to help you connect with your clients, create life-changing results in your online business, and shine neon bright online. I built a multi-six-figure business in under 2 years and, more importantly, have supported my clients to get amazing results. My clients have generated 5- and 6-figure launches, tripled their income, and completely transformed their lives using my signature framework, the Swift Marketing Method. In this podcast, I take you a layer deeper into my business, my life, and my mind. If you're an ambitious entrepreneur, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Hello, happy day. Hope you're having the best day wherever you are in the world right now. I'm chatting through a listener question today. I received a DM a few weeks back. Shout out to you, Sasha, asking for a very specific topic that I wanted to share. And I've had a few requests come through Instagram. So please know if you've sent me through a request for a podcast episode, it is coming either later this year or early in 2021. But this one is a one that I thought would be pretty well timed, actually, as we start to come into the end of the year and we're looking at ways of working and how we can improve our systems and our structures for ourselves personally. I know that that's something that I'm starting to do as we near into the end of November at the time of recording this episode. So the question I was asked was how I stay organized in my business and in my life. And I really love this question because, well, I'm a Virgo. I have a Virgo sun, first and foremost. And so organization is something that I freaking love. And the other reason that I really love it is because I think that being organized is such a great way for you to really just freaking enjoy your life, because it means that when you're organized and you have a structure to live out your day, you spend so much more time doing the things that actually matter to you, the things that are really important, which for me is spending time with my family, spending time with my, with my loved ones, and doing things like going to the beach and being in nature. And within my business, it's the strategy work, the creative work, and serving my clients. They're the things that I most love, and not spending all my time in admin or feeling like I'm chasing my tail or, being anxious because I always feel disorganized. That's not how I like to roll in my business or in my life. And I'm sure that it's how most of us don't like to roll. So I'm going to share with you how I stay organized in business and life at a top line level. I'm going to do a separate episode with my business manager, Nivek, at some stage where I'm going to chat through with you more about the backend systems of our business. So this is not that episode. This is not the episode where we talk through how we run the backend of our business. This is more a personal perspective, how I personally stay organized within my life, and then how that obviously flows into my business. So I couldn't have a conversation about being organized without first talking about my absolute favorite tool, which is Asana. So Asana is a project management tool, and we will link all of these in the show notes. It's a project management tool that I use to run my entire life. No exaggeration. In our Asana, there are projects for absolutely everything. I have a wedding project. I have a, what am I going to buy my family and friends for Christmas this year project. Obviously, all of the different things in my business, which I'll go into in another episode, of everything from every single launch through to a strategy and planning, through to a client love project, I have absolutely everything in there. So the way that I think about Asana is that Asana is the contents of my brain. It is everything that I have going on in my world, in my life, in one place. And the reason why I believe it is so important to have a tool that you can use to house the contents of your brain is so that you don't have to spend so much time going back and forth and toing and froing in your mind constantly about the things that you have to remember. It's a way for you to be able to get everything out so you don't have to internalize things, think about things over and over and over again, but rather you know that you can have it all there and everything is going to go according to plan, especially when you're running a business where there's always multiple projects and always things going on and lots of moving parts and team and lots of clients. It's just incredibly important, I find, to have that project management tool that houses absolutely everything. It's so important for projects that have start and end dates. So for example, the wedding, like I mentioned before, my wedding next year, which is in March, and for launches and for anything where there's moving parts. So I bring people in. Yes, Che even uses it with me. We have him in there for the wedding. We have a life admin project, absolutely everything. So Asana is my greatest organizational love so that I can just have absolutely everything that is in the contents of my brain right there in front of me. And it is my secret weapon for being able to build and scale and remain organized in doing so. And for the most part, not have things slip through the cracks. And I will just say that I'm not perfect. And I think when you're scaling, there will always be things that slip through the cracks. It's just part of the process. But for the most part, it's really important to me that we're a really thorough company that is able to make things happen and follow through with everything in, a reasonably timely way. So the next organizational tools that I use is Google Drive, and I also use Google Keep. So I keep all of my documents within Google Drive, and we have all of that shared with the team in Google Drive as well. We are very much a Google Drive business, so all of our contents lives within there. And Google Keep is my to-do list app. So Asana is really great for all of the projects and then seeing the tasks that need to get done during the day. But with Asana, because there are so many things being flung back and forth between other people, it's hard for me to look at Asana and get a really clear read of my top priorities each and every day. So that's what I use Google Keep for. So Google Keep is my to-do list app where I write down my 3 most important tasks for the day, as well as anything else that I need to get done. And I just check those off throughout the day. It's really great because it allows me to structure my day really beautifully because I can order of ways that things are going to get done. And I also tend to put times against each thing so that I am able to get things done in a really timely way. And I'm not able to procrastinate as I'm moving through different tasks. In the Google Suite, while we're on that, I use Google Calendar as well for everything. So everything that I have on as a meeting or an engagement or a priority goes into Google Calendar. I structure my Google Calendar so that I have different colors for the different areas of my life. So client calls are down in yellow. Any other business meetings, team meetings are purple. Exercise and self-care goes in as a really light green. Family friend catch-ups are a dark green. Different projects then get different colors. For example, the coach code, which I've just done, and we're now into delivery with my girl Rach McDonald, that has its own color. So everything gets color coded in there. And the reason why I really love color coding my Google Calendar is because that way I can see if anything feels off balance. Just coming back to the purpose of being organized. For me, it's never so that I can cram as much as possible into my days because I don't want to live like that. I don't want to feel like I'm a machine or a robot that's having to, cram everything in, but rather so that I can spend more time flowing and doing the things that feel really good for me. So when I look at my Google Calendar, I really like to see that there's enough of the colors that are really important. So for example, that there's a lot of exercise in there, that there's a lot of self-care, that there's a lot of time for spending time with friends and family and Che, and that I don't have too many business meetings or client calls that week. I like to keep things as even as I possibly can. So everything goes in there, and my aim is always that there is a lot of white space. Now, let's talk about email and my systems around email, because I think that's a really important part of this conversation. Now, email is my Achilles heel. It would be so easy to tell you that I am so organized with everything, but you know what? With email, I am not. I am just not. It is my absolute Achilles heel. Dare I say, hate it. And it's something where I avoid having to spend my days chained to my inbox. I just don't like it. And I think that there's a hangover from corporate there, where I did feel like in corporate, I spent my days chained to an inbox, responding to, everyone else's wishes and not my own. And the way that I think about being in an inbox is that when you're in your inbox, you're being reactive to everyone else's needs rather than fulfilling the deeper work that you need to get done. Being in your inbox is such shallow work. It's the in and out flow of things that need to happen. So if you spend heaps of your time in there, you're likely not getting the deeper work done that needs to get done, like strategic work or creative work or any of those things where you need to go into a little bit more of a zone. So email is my Achilles heel. I'm owning it. I'm claiming it. I'm sharing it with you all. And so because of that, I avoid email for anything that is important. So what I mean by that is that I do not communicate with my clients on email, and I do not communicate with my team on email. So my team and I communicate through Asana as well. We use Asana in all of the ways. So we communicate there, and I communicate with my clients through Voxer, and I also communicate with my team through Voxer for anything that's more important or more timely, that has a little bit more urgency around it. So I never ever have things come through email that I know are wildly urgent, because everything that with team and with clients lives in those other platforms. And so because of that, I have my email set up so that I do not need to be in there every single day. I check it to ensure that there's nothing that needs to be responded to quickly, but I don't go through email every single day. When I'm clearing out my inbox, I switch it to the order of who it is from, because it's so much easier to go through and delete or respond when you can see it in that way rather than the time in which it came through. Because what happens is that so often you'll find that somebody emailed you and then they're emailing you again about a similar thing. And so you can just see that there were 3 emails that came through from this one person, and maybe you only need to reply to one and then delete the others. It's just so much easier to go through and clear it out in that way. Let's finish this up by just talking a little bit how I structure my week and my days, because that's very much part of how I stay organized. So the way I structure my week, Monday to Friday, is that Monday and Friday I don't see clients or have any meetings or of any kind. Those are days that I have clear, no podcast interviews, no nothing. And Tuesday to Thursday is when I have meetings and see other people. And I try and make it so that those are in the afternoon, so that I have the morning to do deeper work, because that's a time when I definitely do better deep work. It doesn't always work that way, which is fine. I'm a little bit more flexible around that, as long as I keep my Mondays and Fridays free. That's the most important thing for me, because that flexibility is really important. It means that we can do long weekends, and it also just means I've got time to sit in my day and prep things and do strategy and all of those things that I love so much. So that's the way in which I structure my week. Now, when it comes to bitty tasks, like maybe it's briefing my team on things or going through things that my bookkeeper sent to me, or just those little bitty tasks that we all need to do, I do those in a daily hour of power. So that hour of power is for everything administrative, because I fucking hate admin. And so it means that I can combine all those little bitty tasks and knock those over within an hour so that they don't seep into my day. And the other great thing about having lots of those bitty tasks in an hour of power is that it can be really easy for us to trick ourselves into believing that we have so much to do, when actually we have 10 things to do that are going to take us maybe 3 minutes each. And so in my Google Keep, if I just say hour of power in my day, then I know that in my hour of power, I'm just going to go into my Asana and look at all the little bitty tasks that I really need to get done, and I'll knock those off in that time. So that's really helpful for me to stay organized, because it means that I know whichever little bitty tasks I really need to get done, I've got that hour of power in which I'm going to do them, and I don't need to have those tasks hanging over my head or seeping into deep work time or rest time or anything else. So those are the main ways that I stay really organized in my business and in my life. I really hope it's helpful, like I said, especially if you are starting to think about better ways of working into 2021, which I know I find really interesting always, and am always looking at better ways to improve my systems and ways of working. I just find it so interesting to know how we all work. And I think also on that note, it's really worth knowing that this conversation is for you to take the parts that feel really good for you and then discard the rest. We are all so different in our ways of working and operating. And I think that organization looks so different to everyone. So I might have planted a seed here where there's something that I do that feels good for you, and there might be other parts of this that you feel really resistant to. And so listen to yourself and what feels good there, and discard the rest. Now, I so appreciate you being here and listening to this episode. If you have loved it, please share with me over on your Instagram stories where you're listening to this podcast episode from. Take a screenshot of the episode on your phone right now, or of your surroundings, and tag me in it and let me know where you're listening. It's always such a joy to see you and feel like I get to be part of your day. Have a beautiful one, and I will be back with you next week.